The lights in the comedy club flickered as the audience roared with laughter. On stage, Kathy Griffin's sharp wit cut through the room like a knife. But that night, her humor had a target: Senator John Kennedy. Mimicking his slow, southern drawl, she jabbed mercilessly at him, twisting his words into caricature and laughing at every exaggerated syllable. The camera panned to the audience, some unsure whether to chuckle or cringe. Kennedy, watching from the wings, felt a familiar heat rise in his chest, a mix of anger and determination. It wasn't just about the accent. To Kennedy, it was the principle: respect. He had spent decades building his reputation as a man of honesty, hard work, and unwavering integrity. And here, in front of millions, someone was mocking everything he stood for. He could have lashed out publicly, joining the chorus of political tit-for-tats, but Kennedy had a different plan. A quiet, decisive move that would change everything. The next morning, the story had gone viral. Clips of Griffin's performance were shared across social media platforms, each one punctuated by mocking subtitles exaggerating Kennedy's drawl. Comments ranged from gleeful to cruel. Kennedy's aides urged him to ignore it, warning him that responding could fuel the fire, but Kennedy wasn't the type to sit idle. He picked up the phone. The number was one he had used sparingly over the years, a number that held weight in Hollywood, in television, in networks. He dialed slowly, deliberately. The conversation that followed was short, direct, and chilling in its calmness. Kennedy didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He simply outlined the consequences of Griffin's actions in a way that left no room for misinterpretation. By the end of the call, the room on the other end fell silent. Griffin, who had thought her humor invincible, felt the walls close in. Over the next few days, the ripple effects became impossible to ignore. Sponsors began to quietly withdraw their support, networks reconsidered projects, and the bookings she had relied on for months were suddenly cancelled. The comedy club's laughter was replaced with whispers. Griffin had underestimated the power of a principled, calm, yet decisive response. Kennedy hadn't needed to fight fire with fire, he had simply exercised influence responsibly, proving that respect could be defended without stooping to insult. But the story didn't end with Griffin's career stumbling, it was about Kennedy's journey as well. In interviews following the incident, Kennedy spoke about dignity, accountability, and the subtle power of measured action. He shared that life often presents moments where one can either rise above or be dragged into the mud. He had chosen to rise. His story inspired countless viewers who had faced bullying, mockery, or intimidation in their own lives. It was a reminder that courage didn't always roar, it sometimes whispered, and in that whisper, change happened. Months later, Griffin attempted a calm.